How do you experience more pleasure? This is a question that many people ask. Many people would like to know the answer, but don't have the courage to ask. And in this episode, I'm going to give you your next steps in finding more pleasure for yourself. But before I do, I first of all want to say a warm welcome to all of you who are new to the Intimate Marriage Podcast, and a really warm welcome and thank you to those who are returning listeners, whether you've listened to every single episode until now or a handful. I'm so glad that you're here. I really want to give you content that you can apply in your own life, which is why I really appreciate this review left February 11th saying, "What a great episode. Thanks for the encouragement." The way the reviews work, I'm not really sure exactly which episode it is, but I'm so glad that it was encouraging for you who left this review. And I hope that's true of all of the episodes, though of course they're not all for everybody. But if you're here listening and you want to know how to have more intimacy in your marriage, there are going to be episodes that serve you. I also want to say just a really general thank you. I now have 103 ratings on iTunes. There are ratings on other platforms as well. And with this, I want to ask you, if you're a listener first time or many time, if you haven't left a rating and a review, wherever you listen to podcasts, please do, because it's one of the main ways that other people know that this is worth listening to. There are so many different relationship podcasts out there. There are some that are like super sleazy. There are some that are like so sanitized that you wouldn't know what they're talking about. There's a lot of complaining. There's so many different ones. And my flavor is really to give you the clarity of concepts that allow you to take action and improve your marriage, improve the intimacy, improve feeling more comfortable yourself and with your partner emotionally, sensually, erotically. So if that's what you like, if you are an educated professional and you want to understand things and not have it feel sort of sleazy, or not have it feel like you're broken or have some kind of problem that needs to be analyzed indefinitely, no. Therapy definitely has its place, and I believe that so much can be done through taking action and creating a new experience. If you and your partner can connect with one another with vitality and authenticity and create new experiences, then it really doesn't matter why you didn't have them for the weeks, months, years, and sometimes decades before. Now, if you can't create that, then you got to do some excavating and clarifying. But so often there are small things that you can do that just bring more energy between the two of you that feels really good. In fact, one super simple one is just to smile. If you want more connection with your spouse, then whenever you see your spouse smile, and I'm not talking about some like saccharine fake smile, I mean, find the place inside you and smile. Don't require your partner to do anything. Just be glad to see them. And you know what? You do that often enough, your partner's going to be glad to see you too. It is such a small shift. And if smiling works, well, do that. It's free, it's easy, but you have to put attention on it. Now, let me be clear. I don't have the illusion that smiling is going to solve all problems, but having your partner feel that you're glad to see them when they walk into the room or when you come home at the end of the day, that actually goes very far in the two of you being more creative and more connected with one another. That's what it does. So when it comes to pleasure, I'm going to speak in a fairly heteronormative way, because while these are generalities, universalities that are filled with exceptions, more often than not, when I'm coaching a couple or individuals, I will guide a woman in one direction and a man in another direction. So if you're a woman, listen up. If you want more pleasure in your life, then start by paying more attention to the experience that you have with your senses. In other words, notice what are the fabrics that feel good on your body and wear them. Don't wear the ones that aren't comfortable. When you wash your face in the morning, let your hands caress your face. Let it be a sensually lovely experience rather than treating yourself like the kitchen sink that you're just scrubbing. No, touch yourself so it feels good and let the feeling be your experience. Honor your own experience. For a woman who wants to experience more pleasure in the bedroom, the first step, most of the time, is to feel more pleasure out of the bedroom, and that requires you to honor your experience. So I've talked in terms of touch with the fabrics you're wearing, with the way you wash your face, with the way that you can touch your arms and notice, do you like to touch slowly or do you like to touch quickly? More pressure, less pressure? What has you feel good in the realm of touch? And similarly, in terms of listening, what music do you enjoy? Do you love silence? Would you rather hear the sounds of birds? What are the sounds that you can just close your eyes and really enjoy them? And the sights. Do you love looking at the sunset or the sunrise? Big, beautiful landscapes, the beach, your children while they're sleeping or your children while they're awake. What do you love to see? What kind of art? What colors? Surround yourself in your home or any place where you have control with things that you find beautiful and actually allow yourself to feel that beauty. Honor your experience. I love fresh flowers. I see them and I smile. It's very rare that I am in the presence of fresh flowers and I feel numb and turned off. But that used to be the case. Even though I like fresh flowers, I've learned how to allow the pleasure is what I'm going to say. You can see I have flowers and I do most of the time when I'm recording because my husband knows that I love flowers. This is actually just a little funny truth. It didn't used to be so funny, now it is. But I used to love receiving flowers and he just never gave them to me. His mother doesn't like fresh flowers and it just never occurred to him. And he thought it was kind of, I don't know, like corny. But he knows I love them. And for a few years now, I always have fresh flowers in my office and I never get them for myself. I don't have a subscription. He notices when they need to be replaced, and within a day or two, I have new flowers. He knows that I prefer to have one or two kinds at once so I can really enjoy them rather than like a whole variety of flowers all at once. I like my monogamous relationship with flowers, we'll say. And there they are, and it makes a huge difference. I have learned to allow myself to feel the pleasure in seeing the fresh flowers. So notice what feels good to you. We've talked about touch, what you're hearing, what you're seeing. And so what is left, of course, is your sense of scent, the aroma. When you're cooking, if you're sauteing onions, as I enjoy doing, or even making tea or coffee, let yourself enjoy the aroma. And if you enjoy perfume or essential oils, great. Maybe you want to make a point of spending a moment outside to smell fresh flowers if they're blooming during, if you're in the season where you live and they're blooming. And similarly with taste, you can eat your food in a very functional way. Just like there's functional sex and then there's delicious, nourishing, fulfilling sex, Well, the same thing is true in how you eat your food, how you taste it and savor it and enjoy it, as opposed to just putting it in your mouth and down it goes, plus or minus some chewing, of course. So if you want more pleasure in the bedroom, there is no like magic switch or embodied technique that if in general you're not honoring your sensual experience in your day-to-day life, that suddenly you're going to be able to tap into that and really allow the pleasure and enjoy it and have your senses be alive in the bedroom. No, you want to practice and have more pleasure in your everyday life. Allow yourself to honor the experiences you have with your senses. And then as you have more skill in doing so, it's quite fun to apply that skill under the sheets. Now, if you're a man and this appeals to you, go for it. I'm really going to say something very similar, but I'm going to say it in a really different way. It's like I'm going to talk a more masculine language. Although what I've just said applies for men and women, and what I'm about to say applies for men and women. But you can hear the shift in my tone. I want to talk so that a man listening feels like I'm talking your language. I might be saying things that are unfamiliar to you, but I am talking to you in a way that you can connect with. And I have to say, I am so grateful to my husband for saying, well, first he used to say nothing when I would talk in a much more feminine way with innuendo and tone, the way I just did. He would say nothing. And I used to think he understood because I understood. But then I realized, no, he just shut down. And eventually he learned to say, I don't know what you mean. And he has trained me in a way that I am so grateful for, to talk a lot more like a user's manual than is my native form of expression. So when I bring that quality to how to experience more pleasure, what I want to say to those of you who orient more masculinely in how you think about things, it's all a matter of where your attention is. So if you want to experience more pleasure in the bedroom, one of the most important things that you can do is to cultivate your attention, to put your attention on your own experience, but probably even more so to put your attention on your partner's experience. You will need to have it on both, but it can be easier to develop it by putting your attention on your partner's experience. So you can notice, what does she respond to? Now, she may or may not be expressing it verbally, and she may or may not be like moaning and giving you hints that make it easier to know. In fact, feel free to request that if that's going to help you be more attuned. But you can notice, when is she more relaxed? When is she more tense? What are the emotions flitting across her face? What is your intuition telling you? And if the two of you are both listening to this, or you otherwise have an open relationship, you can check in either during or afterwards, not to become like unduly analytical. That's kind of a turnoff, but just like, it seemed like in this moment you felt really good, or when I was doing that, it looked like you may have been uncomfortable. Were you? Those are conversations you can have afterwards. And that is assuming that you are willing to learn. And it's a matter of refining your attention so that you can have your actions be in service of more pleasure. Now, outside the bedroom, you can do this too. If you don't already, consider giving a compliment to your spouse every day or regularly. I mean, if you're the kind of person who wants to put it in your phone as a reminder, great, that's fine. And if you want to just be more spontaneous about it, that's fine too. But the thing is that if you, for example, say, you look beautiful, that's good. But what is a better compliment is something with more specificity. In other words, you dial up your attention in order to notice with more specificity, like, I really like how you look in that skirt. The way your hair looks today is just so beautiful. Your smile just lights me up. These are compliments with enough specificity that the other person actually feels seen. And very often we think compliments are for the person who's receiving them. And there certainly are many women who yearn for their partners to give them more compliments. And that's great. But that's not actually why I'm bringing it up. I am bringing this up because if you are a man and you want more pleasure for yourself and your partner in the bedroom, one of the most important things you can do is up your attention. And one of the ways to do that is to give compliments, because if you're going to give the compliment, that is a result of you having more specific attention on your partner. So it's like you have to focus your attention and notice, what is your partner wearing? How are they moving? What is their mood? How are they feeling? What have they cooked for you? And how much effort did it take? Like, what kind of a parent are they? Or whatever it is that you admire. I've used more sensual things, but it can also be like, you are so amazing managing our household finances. Whatever it is, you grow, and you grow your capacity for intimacy, connection, passion, and pleasure by increasing the quality of your attention, not as an interrogator, but with curiosity to notice what is happening for your partner. And basically, you communicate the quality of your attention by giving the compliments. This is not to have her feel good, although that will happen, and that is wonderful. This is for you to dial in your attention in a way that will naturally lead to more pleasure and more intimacy and more sense of feeling seen and cherished and respected in the ways that really feel much better for both of you. So please try this, whether you're attracted to put attention on your sensual experiences and let that delight you and eventually influence the way you make love, or up the quality of your attention. What do you notice about your partner? And let them know that you're noticing it, and find a way to say it that they're glad to hear it, because it may be that you notice things, but the way you say it is like awkward for her to receive. So then you adjust how you say it. All of this is increasing your attention and your capacity to connect intimately, which absolutely will translate when you have your clothes off together in the bedroom. So please try it and let me know how it goes. You're always welcome to go to my website, alexandrastockwell.com, and go to the contact page and let me know your experience. And if you have questions, well, I'll be glad to answer them on the podcast. Or if what you want is some coaching and guidance, because the two of you are motivated and willing and ready and just want the education to know how to create more extraordinary intimacy with one another, then definitely go to my website, alexandrastockwell.com, to the contact page, and connect with me, fill out the application for private couples coaching. It is extraordinary what is possible in the context of private coaching. Really, you can ask any of the couples that I have coached. I'm not going to tell you who they are, of course, but you could. And the magic they make, the authenticity and communication achieved, the pleasure, the passion, the depth of connection, it's really extraordinary. And if you want more of that, and you are motivated, you know how to make things happen in other areas of your life, and you'd really like to hack that and learn how to make things happen in the realm of intimacy and connection, I would love to help you. I absolutely would. And if you just think that your partner needs to change, that you're not really a success in life anyway, then you don't need to reach out. I'm not the one to serve you. But if you are motivated and willing to invest time, attention, energy, and resources to learn how to enjoy your relationship and one another in ways that are so fulfilling and supportive and fun, well, reach out and I will help you.